Welcome back, everybody, to the Grandparents Podcast. It's been a hot minute.
It has been.
Kato's super excited today.
The minute's been so hot that it's hot outside.
Yep. It's 24 degrees Celsius right now, which is pretty hot.
Exactly. It's 82 for me in Fahrenheit right now, which is
freedom units.
not the worst heat, but it's just gross either way.
Yeah. If you hear my fan on in the background, no, you don't. How about that? I walked to the store this morning and I was like, "Oh, it's 17. It's a little chilly, so I'll be fine." And like, I'm wearing like a t-shirt dress today. Funnily
Nice.
enough, very close to the color that I wear in my avatar. But I'm wearing that and I was like, "Oh, 17, that's gonna be fine." And then I like looked over, like I watched my phone change from 17 to 20 because I guess it was updating. And I was like,
Oh, no.
that's a little warmer than I thought. But I walked outside and it was really nice. And I'm like, wow, I wish this weather could be like this all the time. But it has proceeded to get hotter. It's very cloudy today, so it's not as hot as it could be.
I gotcha. See, it's not very cloudy for me. Now it's very sunny outside. Fortunately, the sun's on the other side of my window, so it's not coming right in my face. That's usually in the morning. Or it's just like, good morning, sunshine. And I'm like, I need to see my computer screen.
What's that? Is it Willy Wonka? That's like, good morning, Starshine. The stars say hello. I don't know. It's Johnny Depp is a quote.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think it's Willy Wonka.
Indeed.
I don't know.
Yeah, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the newer one.
Yeah.
The not so cool one.
Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Not the new one that's in production with Timothée Chalamet, I think is how you pronounce his name, being Wonka. I don't know. A lot of things are a little bit crazy. Something that I didn't put on my the list that I forgot to talk about. We can only talk about it briefly. You don't have to jump into it right now. But it is the writer's strike thing. Like
yeah.
I was like, I forgot to put it on the list.
That's okay. You talked about it briefly, I think, last podcast. I remember mentioning it.
Yeah, but it's even crazier now.
In depth. Yes.
My ears are ringing. Someone's talking about me. Stop it!
It's me right now.
Stop talking about me.
I'm whispering underneath my breath, as like below the Discord microphone. I'm like, Mousie, Maddie's doing this again. This is nonsense.
Well, anyway, how have you been? How is your vacation?
Yeah. So I'll briefly sum it up for those who are listening only podcast. I've said it on a number of times on streams and other platforms, and I even have a lovely little Twitter thread that I wrote while I was out. It's not a thread necessarily, but every day I posted something different about my adventure and kind of my takeaways from my vacation in London. But yeah, it was nice.
England.
It was exactly London, England, to be very precise. But yeah, no, it was definitely an interesting trip. I feel like I learned a lot, and it was cool to get to be exposed to culture for like that 10-day period and just kind of be thrown in and have to see how I could deal with it. Because it's just very different. It's very different than here, and I definitely think there's a lot of cool things that are over there that we don't have access to. But I definitely felt homesick, and I still feel very glad to be home now. So you say.
I get it.
It's from a different mentality. As I talked with my friends before, it's from a different mentality of people, and some things it's good, some things it's bad. Because there's also problems they have over there too that we don't have.
Yeah, that's
because of that, more capitalistic society that we tend to more embrace over here. And so it has its own pros and cons. But in terms of everything else, it was just cool to get to see the history of everything and get to go to some cool landmarks that we don't really have access to here. Though we have still more like our trees. I mention this all the time. People probably think I'm so crazy for it, but like the trees are different and the water's different. And it's one of those things you don't really think about until you go somewhere else and suddenly it's like, oh, this is a thing that I'm so used to being similar. Even when I travel across different states, most of the time the foliage is going to be the same. The water is going to vaguely taste similar, but it's like, no, it's different over there. But other than that, though, it was a really cool experience. I got the chance to see a lot of cool places, and I got some souvenirs to take home. I got to see some friends. I got to meet with Rhino for the first time, and my friend Midnight, and my friend Tom. I got to see Aaron again. Which, by the way, oh my goodness, that's so funny. We were just talking about him this week because we have been meaning to try and get him to be on this podcast with us.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, we asked him, never followed up again. Because it would have been really fun to talk with him about that trip too and see his perspective. But either way, it was a very
He's
fun
got
time.
tonsillitis.
Yeah, exactly. Can't
Stinker.
imagine. I know, which is devastating.
Just like
But
8
yeah.
p.m. for him, so like I don't know. I can
Yes,
ping him,
exactly.
see if he wants to join, but I don't have a PNG tuber for him, so oh well.
Yeah, too bad. So sad. He'll have to wait.
Yep.
It's
It
fine.
sucks
But yeah,
because we're gonna be talking about something today that he's very passionate about.
yes, it's very true. He talks about it to us every time we get into a call with him.
Have you seen the updates on this?
Exactly. But yeah, vacation was good. So I feel very good. And then I had a summer camp I helped out with the week I got back.
Mhm.
Got to do some theater training with some people in the local community, and that was really fun to get to be part of that. And then yeah, by that point it was nice to kind of jump back into regular work, even though some parts of it are stressful as always. It was refreshing to be like, oh yeah, I feel rejuvenated. I've taken some time away. I can go into this with a bit more of a fresh perspective. So
That's
so
why
yeah.
vacations are good. They're necessary. You like always take your vacation days, guys. Even if you feel guilty,
Yes. No, it's
still
definitely a
take
good
them.
thing. Wouldn't recommend doing it in full, like, 3-week stints, like, in some ways I did, 'cause it
Mm.
feels long.
Yeah, and then you don't
But
want to
having
go
a week
back.
here and there yeah, having a week here and there, though, is not a bad thing. Take some time
Yeah.
for yourself, to appreciate. But, yeah, that was my general gist of my vacation overall.
Nice.
Probably I guess I will say the coolest thing that we got to go to, was the city of Bath in England, which isn't the
Hmm.
city of London, it's very separated. But I loved getting to see, like, the Roman architecture and, like, the older
Bath is
history
very
of
pretty.
everything. It was so pretty,
Isn't
and
that
so it
where
was
they
just
filmed Bridgerton?
yes, they
Right?
have a
Because
lot of
of all
Bridgerton
the
scenes there. Mhm.
all the old buildings.
Yes, so it was just that was really cool. Stonehenge, disappointing. Bath, pretty epic. So, yeah, that's the
Why?
synopsis. It was just Stonehenge was just there, it's just rocks hanging out in the middle of the field. Like,
Underwhelming.
it was cool to go once. Would I go there again, though? No. It's like a movie that you go to see and you're like, "Ah, that was nice." If someone asks you to go there again, you'd be like, "Yeah,
Is
I
that
saw it
underwhelming because you
once."
don't believe in the like mythical lore of it? Like the fact that they're like the Stonehenges are like put there by aliens or like that they're like portals to other parts of the world, like stuff like that.
Well, not really. It's just more just like it's just there. Like, it's I mean, it's cool that they've maintained it so well, but, like, there's once you learn what you have, it's kind of like, "Okay." Like, that's great. Like, there's
Mhm.
not, like, a lot to explore. It's a really small little section. And
Mhm.
it's cool to learn more about the history of it, but, like, once you've learned it, there's not much more to delve into it. It's just like, "Oh, it's here."
Yeah.
There's other places that have a bit more of an extensive history. Like, when we went to Bath again to the Bath, they have a museum there for one of their, public bathhouses, and
Mhm.
there's so much. Like, we couldn't get through all of the information as we were walking around. We couldn't read and process it all, and I'm like, "Man, I would love to go back there and finish up the rest of the exhibit and, like,
Yeah.
learn all the other pieces of information because we just didn't have time." Um so
Mhm.
that's the thing I enjoyed. This was like the when we got to places and there's like this overload of information, I was like, yes, sponge, give me. Um, so Stonehenge felt very paltry in comparison,
Mm,
but
that makes
but yeah,
sense.
but that was my vacation. How about you, Grandma? What would you give to the last 3 weeks?
Oh, you know, just having to fill in for you was not stressful or anything. I had the easiest time doing your job.
Oh,
It was
really?
no,
Wow, yeah, because I
no,
was like, it's like that
no,
doesn't sound very much like what you told me at all.
no, sarcasm. It was interesting. It has only made me further confirm, past my 100% confirmation I already had of the fact that I do not like scripting. Everything else is fine, but coming up with video ideas for I'm gonna be a little real here for a second. The people who watch the podcast for and watch my content already know I'm not the biggest fan of kids. And having to like make the same mind numbing content for them over and over is very creatively draining. Although they might like it and they think that it's different every time, it's really not. And it's just, I don't want to write it. Um, I just feel creatively drained when it came to the scripting, but like doing the videos was fine. Um, and otherwise, I don't really know what else I've only streamed like once a week for the past little bit, but understandable. I went to 2 concerts pretty much a week apart, and I got 2 new tattoos for anyone who doesn't watch my content and just listens to the podcast. I went to a Good Kid concert, and I went to a Paramore concert, and I got 2 little tattoos, 2 little stick and poke style tattoos.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then this weekend I might be going to see Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
Yes, gonna go see that on Wednesday potentially.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the roles have swapped a little bit, where I'm just like, yeah, work is work, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have so much to talk about. So I don't know. Nothing really too crazy has happened. If I'm being honest, I kind of stopped like playing Genshin as often.
I'm the only one now.
I know. I'm sorry.
Well, except for Lucario. Lucario, I stand you. We play Genshin together still.
Yeah, no matter how many times that man will say he's going to stop playing Genshin, he will not. So you're clear on that one. But I feel bad that we got you into Genshin, and then like a couple of months later we all kind of dropped it, and we only have like phases now. I have been, I don't know. I don't want to say this because I don't want anyone to hold me to it, but I've just been watching a lot of Minecraft content, and it's like, ooh, Minecraft building. This looks like a fun idea, but then I also don't want to be pressured to like make it for content. But if I don't make it for content, then I'm not going to play it.
Right.
So I'm also
it's a predicament.
I sent this to Gabe last night, where I was like, I literally sat in front of my laptop. Or sorry, not in front of my laptop. I sat for 30 minutes trying to brainstorm what movie I wanted to watch. I did look up some stuff actually of like what movie I could watch. And then I just started watching Minecraft instead. Because I'm so goddamn indecisive. And I hate it. So that was really cool. I don't know. I'm just like, I doom scroll TikTok so much that I just short-term memory, or like short form content is like consuming me. So it's like, oh, a 2.5 hour movie. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Do I really want to sit down and watch this? But yeah, that's been me. I want to go on a tropical vacation. So bad. That has not left my mind. I just want to sit on a beach.
I need to go on an island and live my best girl life right now.
Yes, I just need to sit on a beach and read a book and drink a margarita. Like I just like a frozen margarita too. That would be, oh my god, that sounds so good. Like I don't know. I know I just went on like a weekend vacation technically. Like last month, but also we're almost at the end of June, which is like really fun.
It's true.
So crazy. Yeah. When this comes out, it'll be Rob, my best friend's birthday. So if you guys follow Rob on Twitter or in the Discord, wish her a freaking happy birthday. Okay. I hope she likes her. She doesn't listen to the podcast, so I can talk about it. But I bought her flowers like I do every year for her birthday. But I also, I think you were in the call for it, Kato, but I bought her a Peppa Pig balloon.
Yes, I was there.
It's a helium balloon, but it came with it was on the website, and I was like, ooh, I'm buying this. It's only $5 extra. Hell yes. So,
Mommy.
Yeah.
It's your birthday.
It's your birthday. But I think the card that I sent her said, I will never betray you like Susie Sheep betrayed Peppa Pig. With the whistling thing. Oh, if anyone knows that, what's whistling anyway? Like this. Fuck you, bitch. Hangs up on her. It's such a good meme, and it's so old that not a lot of people know it, but it's very good. It's my favorite Peppa Pig moment. But yeah. So that's kind of my life right now. Not crazy. But I would like streaming on Twitch only once a week. I did 2 just chatting streams, and I was like, oh, this is really, really nice. I think I was talking to you about it, where I find I have a strategy. There's a strat, guys.
Strategy.
If the conversation is good, I don't ever like want to stop the flow of that. So like we did, like we as in me and my stream, like did 2 just chatting streams where we just like talked about things, because there was like I was updating them on stuff, like we were just having a good conversation, like that kind of thing. And then there's like the strat that I have is like once the conversation dies and there's like more than an hour left of like the planned time that I had, I'll hop into the game that I might want to play. But otherwise we'll just chat. But you know, I don't know if that's gonna be possible with all these Twitch changes. Segue. If you guys don't know, Twitch is doing a whole whack of things right now.
They're doing what Twitch does best, which is taking
fuck
a good
everything
thing and
up,
making it less good.
It's
like Blizzard, but for streaming.
So essentially, they took away simulcasting. Which I don't know if you guys know that. But before, it was if you were a Twitch affiliate or Twitch partner, you could not stream to multiple platforms. They reinstated that recently for affiliates, because affiliates are not partnered. Twitch is not paying them fully. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but like Twitch partners, they get a deal on top of subs and that. Yeah. Like Twitch is taking a cut of subs, but they're also giving them money. So like if they don't, like, you know, there's like it's a certain contract. It all depends. It's an X amount of dollars that Twitch will be like, here you go. And they were making these changes. And one of the other ones that they were going to try and do was that even if you're a partner or affiliate, if you wanted to cancel your affiliate deal with them, you have to pay $25. Now, it goes both ways. If they want to terminate their contract with you, they have to pay you $25.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm getting my information correct. Yeah, so it's very weird, but some of the other things that I recently came across was let me load it up. So apparently they're trying to implement a Partner Plus program.
Yep.
Which is not gonna count gifted subs. So you have to like qualify for it. You have to like reach like 500 gifted subs or something, or not like, or sorry, no, you have to reach 500 non-gifted subs to qualify for the Partner Plus program, and only like, I think it's only 2% of streamers or something like that qualify for it. I'm trying to bring it up. But it's just like, it's crazy. There's this person that I like see. They're called Lowco, like LOWCO, TV. They talk about a lot of that stuff, so you want to like go and get more information on it. A lot of the tweets that I'm referring to are going to be linked back to them. They do live streams and stuff. But like they're adding the fact that like if you're a mature content streamer, you now have to specify what type of mature content. Otherwise, you could get a strike. and 3 strikes you're out kind of thing. Which is also crazy. And then what I think is really funny on the other side of things is that r/Twitch and
Yeah.
r/live stream fails are also closed in protest of all the Twitch changes.
Oh.
They've just shut it down. I have a thing here. It says r/Twitch is closed in protest and nobody will be granted access. Do not message moderators for access. Jesus Christ. Twitch is currently r/Twitch is currently set to private as a way to protest the Reddit's treatment of third-party applications and lack of honesty and transparency via about those changes in coordination with many other subreddits if you'd like to still retain. So it's just like, I don't know. This whole thing is just crazy. There are so many different, I'm trying to remember all the other changes they were going to make as well. I know they were trying to go back to, they were trying to do a 70-30 split.
Yeah.
With partners, I think. Before it was 50, or no, it's 50-50 with partners. Or sorry, no, I'm getting this wrong. It's 70-30 with partners. Partners getting the 70. And it's 50-50 with affiliates. I think they were trying to lower affiliates to 30-70. 30 to the affiliates, which is, that might be wrong though. But yeah, it's just, what have you've obviously seen a lot of stuff going on, so please give your thoughts on it, because I think it's just outrageous.
Yeah, it's definitely like, I don't know, like from what I've seen, it's it, it- it's weird because on the one hand, again, based on what scale we're both at with regards to everything, it's like a lot of the bigger changes still don't directly impact us. Um, but when it comes to like just everything else, it's like on the more minutia, it's just really telling that we're gonna be people are kind of flagging the ship as starting to fall already, and I feel like there's a lot of other venues that again are sort of like what happened when Twitter was doing a lot of weird changes. I've been
Mm-hmm.
seeing a lot more people kind of say like, "Oh yeah, we're going to abandon the Twitch ship and start going to like Kick or YouTube or other platforms to do streaming and things like that." And
Oh yeah, it was the
I th-
advertisement. That was the other thing. Sorry.
oh
Branded
yeah, yeah, yeah,
content. That was the biggest
correct.
one. I was like, what was the other thing that was
Yeah,
a
that
big
was a very
deal?
big deal. And so we're seeing a lot of that kind of crop up now too in the space of just people being like, I don't want to be here anymore. And it's a hard position because on the one hand, again, like with Twitter, Twitch has assembled a platform for people to be able to speak these on these things. And if they aren't on Twitch, then people don't necessarily migrate well from Twitch to other places, as we've seen. Um, like people use TikTok a lot as a means of bringing people to other platforms because it's very easy and conducive for people to kind of leave there. But with regards to like transferring Twitch to YouTube or vice versa, it doesn't always quite work as well as it should. Because just people sometimes just stick to what's most accessible to them. Um, so it's I don't know. I think the changes definitely are telling and they're continuing to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just don't know how many people are gonna kind of make the call and say we're just not going to support them anymore and shift. Because now we have seen it does work with like examples like Wizards of the Coast. We know that we can
Mm-hmm.
make a difference in those kinds of choices, but people have to stand up for it. It's always have to kind of, nicely bully them to make those better changes. And
Yeah.
so
Another
that's
thing that I
yeah.
just found is that the net payout for Prime subscriptions is changing to 45 days. So your
Mm,
monthly thing is going to change, especially if like a lot of people are using their Prime subs on you. You're not going to see that for 45 days. So a month and a
yeah.
half. So now it's almost like it's it just makes me mad because you offer this solution. Twitch is under Amazon.
Yeah.
You offer this solution to people who don't have the extra $5 a month to pay for their favorite to their favorite streamer, or they want to get emotes. So you go, you know what? If you or your family are already paying for Twitch Prime, we'll give you one free sub. Here you go. But the creator, yeah, they won't see that money until a month and a half from now.
Yeah.
So if like it prevents, it's so weird. It's a money grab because Twitch is now making it so that creators, like, why would I have any reason to promote Prime subscriptions if I'm not going to see that money for a month and a half? Right? Like, I need the money on a monthly basis. Like, at the most, I have bills to pay. And if everyone is paying in Prime subs, do I just miss out on a month of groceries or something like that? Because people are, like, I'm not going to expect people to spend their money on me. I would rather them use their Prime subs because they have them, but then I don't see the money right away. So then if I start promoting Twitch subs instead of Prime subs, being like, no, this like, if you want to like support me and this benefits me better, it also benefits Twitch because now Twitch is making more money off that $250 that they're getting.
Right.
More for Canadian dollars, just letting you know, because they changed the currency. So they take half of whatever your dollar is. So if you're Canadian and you're giving me a sub for $7.99, by the way, I get $4. They also get $4. So it's not just $250 anymore. It's not just a flat. They take half of $5. It's half of whatever the creator is making, which they're profiting off of. And the branding thing, it's really funny because they were like, you can't do all these things. And this was very poorly, like, they were like, oh yeah, you can't have burned in ads. You can't have cards and stuff like that. Like, your branded content can't take up more than X amount of percentage of the screen size. And it's like, okay, well, branded games 9 times out of 10 want you to have their logo or something on it. You're playing the game, but they also want a click-through link or something like that you can click on the screen, or that you can see like a code or whatever that you can see and go and check it out. So it's like, is the game not branded content? Like, hello? Like, I don't understand. And then they went back on it. They were like, oh, just kidding, the wording was wrong. But it was really funny. I watched Paladin and Amber talk about it a little bit, where it was like they put this information out and then they went, oh, it was worded wrong, we apologize. And then they never went and changed the wording. They just kept it the same. So it's like, okay, so you didn't actually mean to change that. You just wanted people to stop adding you on Twitter saying how much of a fucking idiot you were.
Yeah.
You couldn't handle the backlash of it. Oops, my bad. And what there was, I think that was it, I want to say. But I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I can reference. But honestly, this whole thing is just like an absolute shit show. I think it's really funny because, and it makes me mad. But YouTube also changed their monetization thing. Because a little side tangent. So back in the day when your girl was trying to start her channel, right? The old guidelines to get monetized were 1,000 subscribers.
Yep.
And what was it? 4K views?
Yeah, is that what it was?
Big. Wasn't big at all. And I was growing. I was working with some companies. I hit the 1,000 subscribers. I just had to get the views. I went to PAX South 2018. I edited a vlog. I posted that vlog 2 days after they changed the guidelines, which I didn't know about. I didn't research it. I hadn't looked into it. So I didn't know that they had changed the guidelines. So I post that video. That video pops off because it has people in it that people came to my channel and subscribed for. So the video does well. I would have hit the watch time. Or no, it was 4,000 watch. Or no. It was some sort of views. I hit the view limit on my channel. And I was like, wow, I can get monetized now. And it's like, oh, actually, you need 4K subscribers. No, or you need 1,000 subscribers and you need 4K watch hours. I was like,
right.
Huh? Which my channel would never reach.
At least not for a while.
No, I then did a little bit of content here and there, and I ended up getting it, which was really nice, and I was monetized for a while. Didn't make us. I made total in the total amount of time that I've been on YouTube, I made $100. I've been on YouTube since 2017. So, and now they just fucking changed it again to 500 subscribers and 3 valid public uploads.
Really?
Yeah. Creators in eligible countries can qualify for the YPP and unlock benefits like promoting their own products on shopping and fan funding features that allow thresholds of 500 subscribers, 3 valid public uploads, and then 3,000 valid public watch hours and 3 million valid public short views. So
wow.
They lowered the subscriber threshold and and added the amount of video, like added a minimum video upload. And then they lowered the watch hours too by 1,000. And I was like, okay, this makes me mad. Not only because I haven't been uploading and I hadn't been uploading for over 6 months, they demonetized me. So I'm no longer in the YouTuber partner program. Understandably so. I don't post. Why would you keep me in it? I post again. I can apply again. Whatever. But it's the fact that I have had the experience of working with companies and have the understanding that this is just going to further that mass production of channels that they start up, and when they don't do well, they just sweep it under the rug.
Right, and just quit and move on.
And start again. It's like, oh, well, if this threshold is much easier to reach now, we're just going to keep mass producing these shitty fucking channels. And then wasting our money and fucking over the content creators that are making these channels for us because, oh, we hit the threshold, great, we're monetized. Oh, but the videos aren't doing well, so we're just gonna can you and we're gonna start a new channel. We might ask you to be the voice of it. I don't know. We'll let you know. It's like, what? Huh? What are we doing? Where did the love go in YouTube video making? Where did it go?
Yeah.
It bugs me so much. The fact that people would rather quit a channel than trying to change it and make it work. And on the other side of it, that people would argue, well, YouTube's algorithm won't pick up the new content because you've already fucked your AVD or your click-through rate. Sorry, you already fucked something up in there. That now the YouTube algorithm's like, no, people don't like your videos, so I'm just not going to show them, regardless of what it is now. And it's like, why? Why are we doing this? Why are you forcing creators to start new channels and waste more money? I don't understand it.
But
I'm mad.
I think it's on creators to some extent too, though, that they choose to make those choices, as well. It's a convoluted system because even that ideally is not what I would recommend is a very good system for anyone. And I agree that it'd be nice if YouTube's algorithm, rewarded those who actually had good content. Even if even if the algorithm didn't quite push for it, but at the same time, it's a lot to ask to kind of offer that subjectivity to what's good versus what's bad, and
Yeah, it's just really annoying that
think,
it's just like,
yeah,
hey, start a new channel because you have to start a new channel because a couple of your videos people didn't like. So now the YouTube algorithm, are just not going to show it. But if you make a brand new channel, I'll have no problem sharing that. Here you go.
yeah,
I'll share all your content. And it's forcing creators to have to start new channels and waste more money all the time. But it's also for creators who are under companies who don't get a say when the channels get canned.
yeah,
So like, yeah, if you own your channel, oh, it fucking sucks. You have to start another one. You're gonna have to pay like artists and stuff like that. But then there's the other side of it where creators, like I said, are working under companies, and it's like, oh well, I'm just out of a job now because YouTube didn't want to promote our videos because we had one bad one, or we had
hmm,
like one video that like YouTube deemed a bad video because it didn't do well statistically. So then your
right.
whole channel is like, your channel kind of, you have one bad video on your channel. Well, your content probably fucking sucks then. So I'm just not gonna promote it. It's like, what? YouTube, get your shit together. And it's all AI too, which is even more infuriating. Because you can't be mad at the fucking computer because the computer's just doing what it's programmed to do.
Right.
But yeah. Do you have any
I
thoughts?
gotcha.
Any more thoughts on that?
I mean, honestly, not too terrible. I think you covered most important bits, and yeah,
Mm,
it sucks that everything has to change so much because it removes that sense of consistency and even the learning that you'd usually had about these systems. It's just kind of gone.
yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, starting another new channel. Just gonna like it's like, I don't know. I view it as like YouTube is the ocean of content for like videos and stuff.
Mm,
And then every time you make a new channel and you just like let it sit there and die, you're just adding
yeah.
more like trash to the ocean.
Right, because yeah, people are just yeah, it's just wasted. It's just like again, people who re-roll accounts on Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
It's like I want
Totally
to get my
relatable.
5-star, therefore I just
Yeah.
re-roll an account, which is funny because I actually can honestly say I've never once done that because I'm like I don't care about that, but there are people who will. And the thing is, it's really sad is they actually get rewarded for that because there's nothing there to punish them for being like, hey, let's just do
Yeah.
this instead.
Yeah. But speaking of YouTube, um,
Mm-hmm.
a certain couple of creators are back at it again. Smosh is coming back. I
Woo!
have never watched Smosh, unfortunately,
Nor
but
have
I
I.
know a lot about it. I don't know a lot. I know a little bit about it because I watch Glam and Gore, and she's
Mm,
dating Anthony Padilla, who was one of the people from Smosh. And I understand they were like a Dan and Phil channel. They did like
mm.
reactionary content and sit down videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
From my understanding, Rachel and Mandy would have a better understanding of it,
Yes.
on what kind of content they did. But something that I found interesting, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but there was someone who was talking about it, and I'll link the TikTok down below. Something I didn't know is that um Good Mythical More, or like Rhett and Link from, I think it's Mythical Enterprise. I think that's what their company is called, or Mythical
Mm.
Entertainment or something like that. They own Smosh. They bought
Yes.
I didn't know that they like Smosh was under another company. Also, fair warning, if you start a YouTube channel and your channel is doing well, never sign with a company. Ever. You will lose your money, and if you sign your channel over to them, they have full access of your channel, and if your channel is like not doing well or they don't want to put money into it, they will literally just cancel it. And this is what I'm talking about, is don't
Mhm.
like the companies, don't trust the companies, because
Don't trust
don't
companies.
trust
They
companies.
don't have your best interests in heart.
It's a corporate capitalism world. But if you give them access to, like, if you give them responsibility over your channel and the channel just isn't doing as well as they like it to, it could be doing phenomenal. But it's because it's not getting millions and millions of views like it was when you owned it and when they picked it up, they can literally just delete the channel if they wanted to. They could full on just get rid of all of your content you've ever made, every ounce, every minute, every hour that you spent on content. They could just delete it all if they wanted to. So don't ever trust companies with your shit. Go to like an agent and do like a percentage, but never sign over your rights for stuff. Understandably, it's not their fault. They were younger when they were making this kind of content. They thought that it was the best for their channel. And then, unfortunately, the unfortunate thing is they lost the channel. But recently, within the last couple of years, I'm pretty. I have to fact check this. Unfortunately, I did not have time. But from my understanding, is that Mythical Entertainment, which I believe is what it is, bought Smosh back. And then when Anthony and what the heck is this guy? What's the other guy's name? I don't remember the gentleman's name. I am losing it. I am forgetting it. It's fine.
You're losing it.
When Anthony and... It's not Ryan, is it?
Smosh Creators. Anthony and Ian.
Ian. Oh, I was close. Some white name. Anthony and Ian. Apologies. When they had the money and they had the want to, they bought it back from Mythical Entertainment. So they bought it back from Rent and Link, which I think is really cool. So they're going to start making content on that channel again, which is crazy to think about. And then Anthony also does interviewing on his own channel. He made a separate channel where he interviews people who've gone through one-in-a-lifetime experiences. And I think he recently posted one with Ian. He did an interview. He interviewed Ian, which is really cool. So I will try to do my best to remember to link those down below. But yeah, I think it's very fun that they are back. And I know a lot of people are going to be happy that they are making content again. So
they missed them.
Yeah.
But they're one of the YouTube oldies.
Yeah, they're one of the OGs. So I'm glad that they're back making content. They deserve it. They deserve to have their own. This is like not once in a lifetime, but like they were very blessed with the opportunity to have someone care about them and their channel to help them buy it back and get the rights back for it. Because I know personally some people who don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
I know someone who did the same thing, who signed over their content, and now they don't have access to that channel and they don't have the money to buy it back. So the channel is run by someone else, unfortunately. And they have no say, which just all around sucks.
Yep.
And then the last thing that we're going to talk about, which I do have an update for, but I don't, again, the update just came in today, so I don't know if it's 100% true. But I'm sure a lot of you have been seeing on your timeline, and it'll probably be confirmed after this once this is live, I might add to the edit or in the description or something that if it's been fact checked or whatever. But, and I'm going to say this in my way, a bunch of dumbass billionaires paid $250,000 to $500,000 to go into a literal soup can and try and go and look at the Titanic because they have nothing better to do with their lives and they didn't want to sit in their big rich mansion and play. You
can only say this because Tyser's not here right now. You can only say this because he's not here.
He would agree with me. I don't know. He might agree with me. I have no idea.
Mr. Tesla himself.
Yeah. He sold his Tesla.
He still
didn't want it anymore. Oh, did he buy a new one?
I think he bought a new one.
I
went into his Tesla when
No, okay.
I went into his Tesla when I went to visit. He was showing it off, and he's like,
he had a white one, and then he got a red one, right, or other way around?
Something like that. Yeah, it wasn't white when I went to go see it for sure. So
okay. Well, anyway, Um, there's a whole bunch of things that we could talk about, and I'm gonna put a bunch of clips and a bunch of TikToks talking about it down below. Um, but it's very funny because, and here's the thing, and some of the TikToks and some of the tweets that I've like found have argued that other vessels, the biggest thing that people are like, oh my gosh, of course it was going to fail. It's controlled by a Xbox controller. Apparently, there are other vessels and stuff like that that are controlled by that way, and they work 100% completely fine. But apparently this metal that they made for the submersive, was what'd they say? Yeah, it was like it was between 2 centimeters and 2 inches, which obviously is a substantial difference. But it was like some sort of measurement smaller than what, or thinner than what they normally make out of deep sea vessel submersive equipment. So it was bound to fail.
Right.
And
or had more of a chance of not succeeding.
Yeah, and I watched some TikToks that when you're doing deep sea diving, your vessel has to be completely round. And the reason for that is the amount of pressure that happens at the bottom of the ocean. It needs to be able to sustain that pressure from all sides. Hence why submarines and vessels and stuff like that are all round.
Yes.
No, it's not just for aerodynamics.
No, exactly.
Water dynamics. It's about physics. But they were saying that if as so much as someone dropping a wrench and denting the outside of it could cause a disturbance in the formation and the pressure, that it would implode on itself.
Suck.
Yeah, it would literally it would crush. It would get there's so much pressure that it would just, and then poof, because you're compressing all this like air that's with inside of it, and then as soon as you do that, the air has nowhere else to go, so it just goes poof, and it just explodes. Which a lot of people were saying that is the best case scenario, and a lot of people were saying, you laugh, but genuinely it is. It's better than them getting stuck down there and having to, I don't know, fucking eat each other to stay alive. It's better than it opening and them drowning or suffocating and just running out of air and suffocating. It would be a quick and painless death.
Yes.
And a lot of people are upset because, sorry, I should say, a lot of people were talking about how it's a recovery mission or a rescue mission. They keep using the word rescue. But a lot of people, especially notable and what's the word I'm looking for? Like a reliable people within the deep diving community are saying it's not a rescue mission, it's a recovery mission, because there is no way that vessel
would have survived beyond that
would have survived. They went more than they went, for context, I feel like I didn't explain this, but I'm sure you guys have seen it a lot. It was to go and look at the Titanic. This whole thing, the reason why they had this built, the reason why they paid all this money, and the reason why I was making fun of them was because, they were so goddamn bored in their big-ass mansion that they're like, you know what we should do? We should go and look at the Titanic. And it's like, you do realize that the Titanic is, like, hardly explored for the reason that it is so deep within the ocean that deep sea divers and like other vessels that they have, they've only been able to be down there for X amount of time, so they have to make multiple missions. Like, it takes months for them to like actually explore the Titanic, and you just wanted to hop in a tin can and go and look at it. Ooh, let's go look at it. No, how about you be respectful and you like, do you just go to like grave sites and just like look at the names? Is that fun
Some
for
people
you?
probably do.
Some fucked up people, some sick people. Like, hey, let's just wander through a cemetery that I have no business being at. I have no family members here, and let's just like look at the names, not pay respects or anything. I just want to go and gawk at the headstones. Leave the Titanic alone. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people died. Let them be. Let them rest. Who cares about how it fucking happened? It's not going to bring justice to the one survivor of the Titanic. One person survived. It's not going to bring them justice. It's not going to bring them closure. Just leave it alone. And so many people are like mad about the fact that like, and I'm mad about it too, that these millionaires went down and the government is like, we gotta throw all our fucking resources at it. We gotta give them everything that we got to get these millionaires back on land. America. Like, I'm sorry, didn't 5,000 indigenous women go missing? But oh no, they're just a statistic. They're not real people, right? Why are we not throwing all of our resources to go and find them? Why is it, and I don't know if this is just a thing that was talked about on Canadian news within the last year. I think it was a year or two ago that they found, I don't remember the exact number, but they excavated a site and they found an excessive amount of indigenous women and children's remains.
Oh, right. I remember hearing something about this.
Yeah. And they didn't do any sort of investigation on it.
Yeah, which is so...
They didn't care to find how all these people died, why their bones were here. Unmarked graves, essentially. It was an unmarked grave for, like, an excessive amount, like, upwards of, hundreds. I think it was between, like, 200 and 500. And no one batted a fucking eye. No one did an investigation on how these women and children just ended up dead, unmarked, in this area. And it's happening again. And there was another thing, like there was people who were like drowning and dying at sea trying to escape. I don't know where it was specifically. I think it was like Mexico or South America or something like that. That were just like dying in the ocean because they had packed this one like ski boat like full of people trying to get away from literal war and poverty and famine. And are they jumping to go and help these people? Are they jumping to go and recover these people from the deep, deep ocean so that their families can have closure? No. But oh no. The fucking billionaires that paid for this knew the risk and still went down. God forbid our tax dollars need to go towards saving these billionaires who probably are billionaires because they sat on their ass and became the CEO of a company.
Right.
Like, what? Huh? Huh? What? So the update that I said that I would need to fact check and put it into the thing is that they have in fact found the vessel. Well, and parts of it.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And that these people are most likely dead. They had done a thing where they had most likely like 95%. They had gone to like the thing that I found, like this is why I have to fact check it, is because I don't know if someone was just posting it just because they're like, oh, they're dead. Let's stop worrying about it. Let's stop giving them attention, that kind of thing. Or if they genuinely are. But allegedly they found near the Titanic the like tip or like the back end, where it was pointed, was not circular in shape. It went into a point. And then the bottom thing that's like supposed to land on the sand, like the feet of it. Apparently, they found those 2 pieces, and they have not found anything else. Which, again, is the most ideal situation that this thing imploded on itself, because, like I said, very fast and painless death. But now, for the next 2 weeks, if this is true, we get to hear about how they died and how it was so tragic, and that, oh my god, they'll never be alive again, and they're just dead, and it was so tragic. Oh, but those 5,000 indigenous women, yeah, they're dead. Who? What? It's like,
I never realized you felt so passionate about this.
Yes, this makes me mad. Aaron brought this up, and I was like, oh, yeah, sure, okay. That sounds like a fucking stupid thing, like these billionaires going into a tin can. And then I started getting more and more tweets about it, and more things about how it's like, yeah, they willingly did this. They knew what they were going into. The person who made it knew. Oh, and the other thing, there was another thing on top of that, is that anyone at the company who brings up the fact that it was unsafe and that it was not like mechanical or like building errors was fired. They were fired for bringing up any questioning to the construction of this tin can. If like this whole thing, like, I'm a huge conspiracy theorist if you give me enough information. This whole thing seems very set up. Like, oh,
from the standpoint of them?
From just my standpoint of like, oh, well, this thing is unsafe. But if you talk about the fact that it's unsafe, we're gonna hush you. We're gonna fire you. These billionaires are like, oh my god, yeah, we know the risks, but I don't think they knew the full risks. You know, like I feel like it's one of those. You know, you get on like a roller coaster and they're like, make sure you keep your hands and feet inside the thing at all times for safety measures, but they don't tell you that the safety measure is actually if you stick your hand outside of this thing, it will literally get chopped off. You know, like that kind of, like, you're not just going to be like, hey kid, keep your arm inside the thing. Otherwise you won't have one anymore. You know, they don't say that at amusement parks. They just go, yep, just for safety measures, make sure, just in case. Like, I feel like it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, so like, these are the possibilities that could happen. Make sure that you're controlling it in a safe environment, blah, blah, blah. The possibility of imploding is there. In any deep dive situation, something can happen. But I don't know if the millionaires actually, like, or billionaires actually, like, physically knew that, like, how unsafe this thing actually was. And then like, that's why I mean, like, anyone who would bring it up being like, hey, this is unsafe, they'd be like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. We know it's unsafe. And like, I don't know. Either these billionaires had a fucking death wish or like should have, instead of doing the submarine, should have put on fucking suicide watch. Or they just didn't know fully the like ramifications of this thing. But I feel very passionate about it because I don't like the fact that they're like, oops, just gonna drop $250,000 to go and see the Titanic. It's like, can you just go, like, can you just buy a new jet or something instead? Can you just do something else with your money? Like, leave the Titanic alone. Leave the graves alone. Stop flaunting your fucking money. If you're that bored with your money, downsize. Give it away. I don't know. Be a decent human fucking being. I don't know. I don't like, eat the rich is all I'm saying.
Yes. You like eating the rich.
I do. I saw a TikTok where it was like, someone was like, I'm all for the the comment was like, I'm all for eat the rich, but like, you don't mean actually killing them, right? And that person was like, yes, I do. When I say eat the rich, I mean fork and knife, cutting them, eating them. Unfollow me. And I was like, I love this. This is fantastic.
This is me for real.
This is, yeah. I'm going to keep ranting if you don't cut me off. So what are your thoughts on it?
I think I'm of the opinion that yes, rich people do rich things. At the same time, they are people.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are receiving the attention. So I do think that it's like it deserves some. If they are indeed dead, that is sad in all cases, even if they're foolish and stupid. That's still very sad. Does it disregard the fact that other people should also get that same level of attention? No, I think that's still something that should be recognized as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that unfortunately just we need to work to change. So that way we treat all people who are deserving of that kind of attention with the kind of, that respect.
Yeah, media needs to be less selective of who they care about.
Yes, we need to focus less on thinking about what's going to make us the most money to show off these people dying, and think about everything that's worth talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. That's my stance on it. Not really much more to say. I feel like we covered a lot of the
Sorry.
details. It's okay.
Oh,
but there are some things though that I will say I would love to know your opinion about, and that's going to be our segue into our questions for today from our Q&A.
We're skipping. Should I be scolded?
Oh, I guess sorry, we could do scolded first if we want to. Oh, sorry, I was just trying to think of a cool segue.
We could do questions and then should I be scolded? We can switch it up. Why not?
Let's switch it up.
This is our podcast, guys. Keep it fresh. Keep it new.
Yeah, we're good at keeping things fresh. It's one of our many talents.
We got some live ask questions,
which we don't usually get, so it's extra celebratory.
Do we want to read all of them, or just we want to pick one? Two of them, I'm like, I don't know a lot about. One of them I have to think about more.
That's fair. I think let's choose our hot topics and we can go on from there.
Okay. Which one? I'll pick one.
Yeah.
This one, I'll do this one because I know we both can say our piece on, but I will remind you, our live ask thing for context is a way that you guys can anonymously ask us questions. So if you have like more advice style questions that you don't like want to be public about or like have your name tied to, you can use the live ask link. And one of the questions is, what is your guys' advice on having a conversation and or keeping one alive?
Ooh.
What are your you can go first, Kano.
I guess so. This is like very specific in terms of like, hey, this is the deal with just questions in general. And conversations. And I think for me, a lot of it has to do with, to maintain a conversation or have a conversation. First of all, depending if you're saying to like initiate one, then sometimes you just have to have the courage to just say something, just whatever, and not be too afraid to say something that makes you look foolish or weird. Just talk, because 9 times, straight phrase, 9 times out of 10, people who you're talking with also won't know what to do, or if they know how to maintain a conversation on their own, then they're not expecting you to hold up your end of the bargain at all. They just want to talk, and all you gotta do is listen. But like in terms of maintaining conversations, the biggest thing, as always, is just listen to other people and what they have to say, or what they might be wanting to say, because sometimes that can be a place to start up. And so if you have kind of a place of where you want to be able to, I'll say insert yourself because that's not so this way, but like if you have a heart of compassion that's willing to listen to the people and have empathy for whatever they're going through, whether it be something that's like a light conversation, like just surface level, or something more in depth, then you have the capacity for both. Just listening to people and what they have to say makes a world of difference in that regard. And that'd be my key piece for that. And then that also helps you to maintain conversation, because if you're actively engaged in what they have to say, then more than likely you're going to know how to be able to react and respond to what they have to say too.
I agree.
What about you? What do you think?
I think to go off of that, or to add on to that, asking questions. So like you're listening to what they have to say, you're not interrupting them, but you're asking questions about the things that they're talking about, because that will prolong them talking. And then obviously vice versa, if they're asking you questions, then you're talking about stuff that you like further. So also just like overall communication skills of, if you can't keep the conversation going, to tell them and then come back to it when you do have things to talk about, instead of just like letting it die. Like, give
Yeah.
it an end point, because if you like let it die, it's going to be like awkward, or like people might read into it, and people with like anxious attachments might be like, you just stopped talking to me, what does that mean? And like, obviously
Yeah.
other people's feelings are not your responsibility, but if you care about the person, you don't
Correct.
want them to feel bad, or you don't want to come across like your with the intentions that they might be thinking, just communicating that to them.
Right.
But yeah, I think nailed it. Just like listening and actively engaging in what they have to say with questions, or and try to. I always say this. I always state it when I'm going to go off on a tangent. So that way the other person or myself kind of like out loud remembers, like, this is not the original point that we were talking about, but I want to add this to the conversation, which then could spark other conversations.
Yes.
So
You want to have good boundaries around your conversation too, and
yeah.
make sure that like in that kind of case too, because there can be times when, at least for me, and this is probably again a tangent question, but somewhat related.
Mhm.
That having a conversation, it's important sometimes that you understand a good boundary for that. If you're having a conversation where you're kind of domineering a conversation, or you take it over and people don't feel comfortable continuing a conversation with you, it's also important that if you want to have one, you understand what's a limit that I can follow, so that way people don't feel uncomfortable talking to me. Because
Mhm.
sometimes you got introvert people who don't know how to communicate very well, or don't know how to say, "Oh yeah, this conversation is making me feel very uncomfortable right now," and they don't know how to get out of that situation. So allowing for, again, room for communication, and people to feel more empowered to step away from conversations if they feel overwhelmed, which
Mhm.
then makes them more willing to engage in conversation with you because they feel like they can trust you.
Yeah, I agree. An example of that is literally this podcast. Like, I feel bad actually that like I feel like I talk more than Kano, but at the same time I'm also the one like prepping the podcast.
Hmm.
So like I know more, like I've done research and I've like looked into the things that we're going to be talking about a little bit more. Kano looks into
Yes.
them, but like I'm like searching for things and like
Yeah.
actively like reading up on stuff. So like I know a little bit more. So then I end up talking more, but I always try to remember to ask Kano what his thoughts on it, because it's not a me podcast, it's an us podcast.
Right. And,
So
and to be fair, it's like, it's also, again, in this case, one of the reasons why our relationship works well in this way is that you and I have complementary speaking styles.
mhm.
Because like in a case like this, like, I'm happy to let you take the forefront, because like you don't always have a lot to say, but you tend to have a lot to say when it comes to this.
Mhm.
And I'm a person who, I enjoy listening to people talk more than I enjoy talking. It might not always come across that way, because I can talk well when I want
Mhm.
to, but I would much rather be like, yeah, I'll just sit and listen and enjoy and process what you're saying, and not have to always engage every time. Um, and
Mhm.
so, I don't mind having times like that, because there are times, like, for example, when we have to take charge of things, like even when we get to the gaming segment later, it's like, I'm in charge of that, and I can just facilitate it, and it'll roll through, and I don't have to feel bad. But that's also, again, us having established, okay, this is the part of the podcast that you really are in charge of. Can
Yeah.
you manage this? And so, again, having a good standard of what our expectations are for our times together, in that way it's like, oh yeah, here we go. So again, not a direct translation per se for all conversations, but in the context of what we are doing,
Mhm.
then we have that kind of enabled.
Yeah. And it's also good, like, on the other side of things, like, sometimes you don't need to be a good conversationalist. Sometimes you just listen, like Kano said.
True.
Like, you can be good at having conversations if you just listen and try to remember. That's something that I'm trying to get better at, is remembering what people say to me, because I have such a short attention span and like short memory that like I don't always remember what people say to me, especially like verbatim sentences, that
Mm,
like when I don't anyone better not tell Rob this, but Rob and I don't speak on a regular, like, we speak like once a week in person, maybe,
yeah.
depending on how busy both of our lives are. Sometimes we could go like 3 or 4 weeks without like voice chatting to each other.
Yeah.
So I write down the things that she says sometimes, like pivotal points that she's talking about, so that I can go back later and the next time we talk, I can be like, oh yeah, she told me about this. I'm going to ask her about that.
Yeah.
It's a little sneaky.
But like, OMG, you know what I'm thinking in my head.
Remembered. But like, Rob, I don't know if Rob does the same thing, but she's just genuinely better at remembering things that I talk about. And I don't know if it's one of those things where, again, I'm just a talker and she's a listener. And I'm really bad at listening. I need to be better at it. But yeah, no, she'll bring up something and be like, oh, how did this go? And I'm like, I don't even remember talking to you about this. Wait, what?
It's like, I mentioned that? Huh?
Yeah, or like, I'll forget I even did it, you know? Like, she'll be like, I don't know, for example, she'll be like, how was the concert? And I'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I did. I went to a concert recently. It was good. And I just forget. Like, I just don't remember. Like, I'm on a constant, like, moving forward treadmill. Or conveyor belt, I guess. Of just going with it. I don't know. I don't think about past too much. I don't know. Maybe it's the trauma. Yeah. So, next question. Do you want to pick one from Live Ask or from the document?
I'll pick one from the document.
Because
I think it's spicy. And I'm specifically going to pick up the one that says, what do you think would happen if the world went into another lockdown? And I think, again, this question can be answered in context of, now that we've gone through one already, how would one be different now that we've had a chance to sort of experience a lockdown already?
Well, there was the lockdown, I'm pretty sure, when SARS was around, which was a different variant of COVID, if I'm medically correct. There was a lockdown and people were wearing masks. I actually asked my grandfather about it. I guess he was alive when it happened. I was like, so like what happened? He was like, oh, pretty much like the same thing. Like, we had to wear masks everywhere and not like get too close to each other. But this was like, I think SARS was around like before the internet or around the time of the internet. So like, I think work was a lot harder to accomplish. But if we were to go into another lockdown within our lifetime, I think it would be similar to my grandfather's experience of just like, you kind of know what to do already, so you kind of just been like, oh yeah, okay, well, we'll do it again. Like,
you just kind of embrace and accept it.
Yeah, I think like there's a level of there's a level of accepting it, but I think that people would be pissed off. Like, they were already pissed off with the first lockdown, but having to go back into it, I think that they'd be like, oh my god, we have to do it again.
Ew, gross. I would hope, survive this thing.
Yeah, I would hope, that we would be better about things this time. Like, I don't know, we would actually fucking shut down schools and non-essential work. Like, I personally believe that the only things that should be open during COVID was grocery stores, not fast food, just grocery stores, and hospitals, like hospital medical clinics, things that people need medically, and like, I don't know, like other essential things. So like, I don't know, like Walmart, where you can get like food and toilet paper and like stuff like that, But I think everything else should be closed, including fast food. And I know that's kind of controversial because a lot of people are like, oh, well, what if you have a disability and you can't cook? It's like, okay, well then there should be like nurses that come in and like help you.
Right. Ideally, there should be a situation where you're able to be helped in that way.
And obviously, like, people don't have the money for that. But like, I think that with the lockdown, the government should like disperse those types of people into the workforce or into the community for free. Obviously not for free, but it would be free to the person receiving it. So it's like, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe. I'm spitting out things, but obviously in a logical breakdown idea, like thing, it's obviously not 100% ideal, because then the government's
Right.
gonna be like, we don't have the money to pay them, and then people are gonna be like, well, what's to say we can't just do that already? And then people are gonna be like, okay, well, they're gonna get a taste of having this help, and then they're either just gonna go back to their old ways, or with the lack of help, they're gonna be worse, you know?
Right.
So I don't know. I just wish that there was more resources and stuff, but obviously people are people. Not everyone is going into nursing or wants to help other people. Some people are very selfish.
Yes.
So I I don't know. I would hope that the government would try and put in a plan for more resources, and they don't just take this as like a oops, that happened. Okay, let's move on from it, instead of like prepping for a potential next one, because like COVID is still very much a thing. People are like they're still
Yes.
dying from it. There are people who are still dealing with long COVID. Like it hasn't just gone away. Like I think like I don't know. The first time I didn't wear a mask to an outing was when I went to a concert in Michigan in like 2022, I think it was. No, 2021. Um and I got COVID right after it. And then literally the end of the year, I got COVID again after going to a club in Toronto. So like, I don't know. I could just pick it up again anywhere. Like it's still very much
Right. Yeah, like we've gotten
there.
some things to help now with it.
Hmm.
And those who've gotten the vaccine obviously have a better chance of not getting it now.
Yeah.
Um,
I was double dosed and I still got COVID twice. And I would not be surprised if I've had COVID since, but just because my immune system from both vaccines and having it twice, that my immune
right.
system now is just better at fighting it, so it just feels like a normal cold.
Right,
Code.
exactly.
Um, but yeah. What are your thoughts?
Exactly. I mean, my thoughts are pretty similar. I feel like if we went through a similar situation, um, the world has already got some preparation for it. It would just be again a matter of a different generation kind of having an opportunity to figure out what it's like um to deal with it, because obviously not everyone, even after even 2 3 years from now, not everyone who's a kid is going to have an understanding of it, and
That's
even those
true.
who were kids might not really understand it either. So there'll be a new generation of people who are unprepared for it in some level. um but like imagine if it's like 30 40 years from now, we'll have understood it, but it'll be quite a time away, so there'll be time to forget. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure wise there'll be more of an awareness of it, but I don't necessarily know if the world would entirely be able to adapt to it so quickly. I think there'd still be a lot of you know issues potentially, and it might just kind of reiterate some of the things that happened before with
Mm-hmm.
some interesting people who really didn't want to believe that such a thing was happening, because they're just like, this is breaking the status quo too much. I don't think this is real.
Yeah.
um and obviously causing a big fuss when they shouldn't be, because they refuse to acknowledge what is actually happening.
I
So
agree.
I don't know. I think it's one of those situations where it's just like, no, it would be an interesting time to say the least. But I also feel like now it would just mean people would just dive into the internet way more than we already are, and I'd be really curious to see kind of how that developed would adjust as we kind of return back into, oh yes, let's focus again on the internet world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's really about
Interesting.
it. My thoughts. And I picked the
Um,
really strange question, or not strange, but the heavier question, because I thought it'd be
no, you're fine.
nice to address.
I'm gonna pick a
We like
lighter
questions of all
question.
kinds. Yeah.
What is your favorite Pokemon, and what do you think it would look like fused with your co-host's favorite Pokemon?
Oh, well, what's your favorite Pokemon? I suppose. Well, actually, you're asking me first, but
Yeah.
mine's really obvious because it's mine, and I don't even have to hesitate about my favorite Pokemon. Mine and
Mine
all the
is
way.
the little blue bunny looking one, right?
Yes, it's the Pikachu clone from Hoenn, but I love him dearly.
um, my favorite is Vulpix.
Ooh, solid choice.
Yeah. And they're kind of similar in, I don't know. They're very cute, both of them.
Yes,
Is there a
exactly.
fuser? Is there a Pokemon fuser that we could just like type in the two Pokemons and it would give
I
it to
know
us?
they're online ones. Yes, we could.
Let me see. Pokemon fuser. Fusion generator. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Whoa. Oh, this is a whole site. Whoa.
So
No, I don't want a random.
And Vulpix.
Minin and yeah, Vulpix. Hold on. Vulpix. Views. Oh my gosh, it made a sound effect. It's so cute.
It's really cute. If you swap them too, it'll give you a different result as well based on what.
How do I swap? Oh,
the middle one there.
It's gonna make another noise.
Yeah.
Oh, they're both so cute.
Yes.
I need to
so I guess we
screenshot
definitely were
them.
correct about that. They're both adorable.
Oh my goodness. Me screenshot.
Oh my
this.
goodness gracious.
Fire electric. Are there Pokemons like that? No, probably.
I think the only one is currently actually no. I don't know of any fire electrics I can think of off the top of my head.
Leave a comment down below if you know of any fire electrics. Fire electrics. Fire electric Pokemon.
Yes.
I'm screenshotting these because they're so cute.
They're pretty cute. And then we can show off to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, ah.
So the second one where Vulpix is first.
Yes.
Is what I was imagining. Was like the Vulpix shape. But it's got the colors of Minin.
I get you.
But they're so cute.
Yes.
Well, that's what it would be. I'll put it up on screen, and if not, I'll tweet it after this goes live. Someone remind me. Someone if I don't post it on Twitter, someone tweet at me and tell me. Yeah. Because we switched up, we're just gonna do one. Should I be scolded today? I've got 3 for you, Kano. I've got. Should I be scolded for not forcing my son to drink something else? Should I be scolded for not apologizing to my girlfriend's parents? And should I be scolded for calling my boyfriend's family unhygienic?
Let's go with. I feel like it's always funny. I always pick the really boring ones in my head. I'm like, this is something that seems at least interesting to me. But I'm like, I want to know, should I apologize for not forcing my son to drink something? It sounds really strange. How is that the other way? Like, to not force someone to do something? That usually comes across to me as being extra generous as compared to being rude. So I'm really curious as to like what that's all about.
All right. I will read that one then. So, should I be scolded for not forcing my son to drink something else? I have an autistic son who's 12 who doesn't like fizzy drinks. He's also not a huge fan of milk or juice, so he just drinks water. No comment?
I mean, I'm just saying, it's a good lifestyle. I can't complain.
I was waiting for the like, oh my god, same. Yes.
It's me for real.
I went out to eat with my grandfather, kiddo's great grandfather. We ordered, and my boy got some burgers and fries. Typical kid stuff. The order came with the kid's soda, and my son decided to get water. For some reason, my grandmother took this as an insult and seeming like he's poor, or it went to it's included in the meal. So he has to get it. So we ordered a Coke. My son had no intention of drinking it and got. My son had no intention of drinking it, and he just got it to shut my grandpa up. He got a refill on his water, and my grandpa lost it. Started yelling at my son about wasting money and destroying Father's Day because he won't drink a effing Coke. I don't know how this is viewed as disrespectful, even though all the family knows he's autistic and has some food and drinks aversions. I grabbed my kids and left the restaurant after my grandfather wouldn't let up about the Coke. I got a text from my mom. It's her dad. Later because I and my son ruined Father's Day for my grandpa, and he's so rarely in town. I don't even understand this because my mom is normally so good with my kids, and she's taking my grandfather's side in this argument.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Interesting. Trying to find some comments to
It's so
talk
funny
about
because
afterwards.
hearing this makes me just think of my dad's current wife
Oh.
a little bit because of how she treats this idea of like what you do when you're out and you're at places. Like this is the kind of the culture you have to enjoy. Not that she necessarily makes well, sometimes she does make other people indulge in that, but she's very much something like that's how she views like the way she needs to treat things herself.
Mm.
That this is just what is expected of you, that you would get a beverage and you must enjoy it because that's what everyone else looks like. And if you look like you don't have money, then why? Why are you doing that? Not to necessarily look like you're rich, but to look like you're poor is even worse.
Yeah. Like, God forbid. God forbid you look poor. Lauren and I were literally talking about this the other day. We were talking about a specific someone, and it was like, we were talking about the fact that, I don't know. I want to talk about this, but I don't know how much context I can give.
Mm.
Essentially, both Lauren and I grew up fairly poor.
Mm-hmm.
And white privilege is very much a thing. But that does
Yes.
not mean that white people can't be poor or underprivileged.
Yes.
And so Lauren and I were talking about the fact that it's quite, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but it's quite annoying when people assume that because they don't want, like, we're not allowed to assume back, you know?
Yes.
I don't want to get into like too heavy of a territory here.
Yeah.
But it just, I don't know. It sucks when someone looks at me and goes, they've had a good life because because of the color of their skin. And it's like,
Right.
no, honey, I definitely had many nights in a row of bread and butter for dinner.
Mm.
Like 1 or 2 slices of bread and butter was my dinner for
Right.
many nights in a row. Like, I think the longest was like a week in a row of like not having much else, or like bread and hot dogs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it just is really annoying when people are throwing it in your face that they're oppressed and they're underprivileged and that kind of thing, when it's like,
Yeah.
you're talking about it as if I don't know. You're talking about it as if I'm not going to be relate to you, and you have to remind me of how underprivileged and oppressed you are. And it's like, yes, I know, and I want to make a difference,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I actively don't do shit against, like, you know, like I actively try not to be a fucking dick and like
Yes.
push my quote unquote white privilege on people because I want to be a people of color supporter in the ways that I know how. Like, why are you acting as if like I am not a person who understands you? So that it's like I get the original poster's like frustration of like, God forbid we look poor. God forbid my kid wants to drink water and not pop. It's not a waste of money. You fucking drink it.
Yes.
Like, the mom can drink it. Who fucking cares? It comes with the meal. Whoa, $2. Okay, drink it then. Then you don't have to ask for a refill. Boom.
Yeah.
Easy. So, what's your verdict? I don't know if you wanted to talk about it more.
Yeah.
More
I mean,
thoughts.
I can give a valid verdict though, because like I feel like I'm probably a little biased because of the aforementioned thing I mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like getting items in our culture, we denote them to mean something economical or political because we feel the need to give them something,
Yeah.
attribute something
Value.
like that.
Yeah.
And those things change over time. When we think about like the classic example of when, um, you know, when the color scheme for kids was at a certain point, it used to be that
Oh,
pink was a
yeah.
man's color
Mm-hmm.
and blue was for girls.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a joke. That used to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what
Somewhere society changed it.
and it changed it.
Someday
But
men
it's more
went,
funny
I don't like pink. It's
because you have people,
manly.
yeah, but you have people who like nowadays will look at that and be like, blue's the manly color and pink is the girly color, and it's like they're not. They don't. They're not.
They're
They
interchangeable.
you can have thoughts, but they really don't have any extra meaning to contribute in any way to that. Um, and so I think it's one of those things where, especially in the case of like water and the need to look sociably a certain way, is when you're at a casual dining anywhere. Like it's like you're not trying to be like a secret spy in Russia trying to blend in. Like you're just being a normal person. Like you can eat whatever food or drink you want to have and it's going to be okay. Like
Yeah.
no one's going to look at you and think
You're not gonna
differently
die.
of you. And if they do, are they even worth your opinion? No, they're not. So
Exactly.
that's my hardcore opinion on that personally.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think that they are the a-hole or no?
Far from it. They're anything but. Anything but scolded.
Well, you would be correct. A lot of people are saying they are not the asshole. One comment says, no one assumes a family is poor because one kid drinks water. It's completely normal, and a grown adult shouldn't be freaking out about it. Your kid is totally within their rights to not drink the cola, and within your rights for not forcing him to drink it either. And then the top comment, one of the top comments was, imagine getting into a pissing match with a child over whether the kid drinks water instead of soda. Grandpa's ego is fragile. Grandpa might have a history of being incredibly thin-skinned, in which case perhaps it's time to go low contact with him. And another possibility is he's showing signs of dementia. Oh my gosh.
Dementia.
Also, to just quickly add on to this before we move on to the game, is that we're also glazing over the fact of mental illness. This kid is autistic. It's not just a matter of he doesn't want it. It's he will physically have a meltdown.
Yeah, he has a reason to not.
If he drinks something or if he gets a text, I don't understand. People just don't.
To be fair, I can understand though that if I got something like that at a restaurant, I wouldn't necessarily have a meltdown, but I wouldn't drink it. If I didn't get my water at a restaurant, I'm not going to drink it.
No, but
I don't know about you.
You're not diagnosed autistic.
Yes,
and people
correct.
who are diagnosed autistic is genuine. It's it's a feeling.
Yeah.
If the fizziness touches their lips, they will get completely uncomfortable and have a sensory overload and just not be able to process it and just shut down, and it turns into meltdowns. And this kid's only 12, so it's not like he's a functioning adult with autism and can just be I'll just deal with it. No, it's out of his control. It's just very weird. Of the thought, I don't know. People are dumb.
Grandpa, get wrecked, Grandpa.
Yeah, get your shit together, Grandpa. All right. But anyway, that was our Should I Be Scolded segment.
Lovely.
If you have any questions or comments in regards to anything that we talked about today, you can send us questions through our live ask link on Discord or on Twitter. And we would love to hear your opinions and your answers to said questions, and your opinions and your thoughts on anything that we've talked about today. So leave a comment down below, whether it's on YouTube, Podbean, in our Discord, or again, you can tweet us. But I will hand the reins over to Kano for the game.
It is time for the game.
It is time for the game.
Yay! I love the
Woo!
game. The game is very
I
fun
love the
to
game.
play.
Very Swedish of
The
you.
game is the best. This is amazing. We shall do the game. It shall be exciting.
Yes, I love the game.
I love the game. All
right.
But anyways, so the game for today is classic because I felt like it, and coming off vacation, I want to enjoy something fun. Though I do have ideas for some extra games that came
Oh
about.
yeah, you
that will
said you wanted to
hopefully
play one soon. Maybe next week.
yes. So I'll vary something up, but sometimes work week, even though it's been a much better work week, still was a work week. So
Yeah.
it's busy. And that's okay. So we will play a game that's comfortable and fun. And now we can learn more about some of my favorite people, characters from Genshin Impact, which is
Whoa!
my friend Gabe's favorite game, as we have quoted him saying.
He sent me a message last week not last week, before you went on vacation, of when we played the game. He was like solid podcast, 10 out of 10. And then you got to the game and you did Genshin again and you lost me. And I was like, blame Kano, not me.
Yeah, exactly. It's called what's the word for it? Like when you expose something to someone until they eventually learn to accept it. Like you do it with dogs when you want to get
exposure therapy?
Yeah, exactly. It's exposure therapy. We're just making sure that it's more bearable.
Gabe will play Genshin. Woo!
I mean, you don't have to play it, but at least I do want to get to a point where at least you can respect it as a game.
It's so funny because every time he reacts to it, the thought that my mom would always say to me in my head is, if you don't give them a reaction, they have no reason to. It was with bullying, but they have no reason to bully you anymore. So the reason why they keep bullying you is because you're giving them a reaction. You're giving them what they want.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. That's just some advice to think about for the future for anyone listening. Is you have a bully or you have something that you don't like that someone's talking about.
If you have a bully and it's us,
if you don't react to it, they'll stop talking about it.
It's true. Can confirm.
Is you going, oh my god, blah blah blah, oh, you guys are so. It's funny. That's why we do it, is because it's funny. But if it's no longer funny to us, then we have no reason to do it anymore. Anyway, go.
Anyways, yeah, long story short though, Genshin. So the game we're playing today is a voice line guessing game where I'll read out a voice line for Mousie of a character from the lovely game Genshin Impact that we both love very much. In essence, what will happen is that yeah, it's okay. You're right. It's fine. I get it.
Played the other day, actually.
But
that's a lie.
Yeah, no, exactly. So you're fine. Like you're all right.
Yeah,
you're hanging in there.
I only need to play it for the podcast. I'm kidding.
Nah, you have an excuse, which is great. Anyways, but yes, so I'll read a voice line. Mousie has to guess who it is based on the context of the voice line. I will do my best to read it in a voice that is both telling of whatever this is, as well as a bit neutral, so that way it's not a clear giveaway. But hopefully it'll be fun and we can learn a bit more about these fun characters that we enjoy from this game that we really like. So, on to the first quote. Are you ready to receive it?
I am ready.
All right. Okay, so our first quote. I'm really good at fixing things, though. I can help. Huh? What do you mean that's child labor? What even is child labor? Does that mean I can't help?
Oh, I haven't an instant guess, but I don't know if it's right.
Okay.
First thought that came to my mind was Bennett.
Okay.
But I'm also thinking. I'm thinking of one of the Chibis as well. We've done Diona. I'm pretty sure we've done Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
Who are the other Chibis? You have Lee? Sayu? We did Sayu.
Yes, we definitely done Sayu.
There's 5, right? And then Nahida, right? There's one for each.
Yes, don't forget yeah as well.
Yao. Oh god, it could be Yao. I haven't played with her. Can I get there?
I actually, because of the fact that I know this could be harder, well, there. Okay,
Don't
so
pity me.
between region, vision, and actually, this will be your hint. This will be your hint, actually.
Oh, okay.
Between region, vision, and weapon, the only thing that separates these two, that separates the character from another character that's very similar to what you've possibly reposited, is just the fact that their weapon's different. Otherwise, the character in mind specifically shares a vision and region with someone you've already mentioned as a possibility that you'd be considering.
Shares of vision and region. So it could be Bennett and Klee, but they have different weapons. Or it could be... Wait, is Yao a sword wielder? Or is she a catalyst?
Polearm.
Polearm. So she's a polearm and Nahida is a catalyst.
Yes. That's true, but they're from different regions.
I'm gonna go with Bennett.
All right. You would be incorrect.
No!
The answer is Klee.
I had a 50-50.
Yes, you did. You were very close. I was like, oh my... I was like, when you were starting to say, it's like, what could work? And I'm like, wait a second. Wait just a second, because I can't really say that it's Mondstadt, because it's not going to help you.
No.
And if I tell you it's a Pyrovision, that's also not going to help you, because they both have the same thing. And I was like,
yeah, but you could have given me a hint and been like, their weapon is... They're a catalyst. And I would have been like, oh.
But then you know automatically who it is and who you're in the fun.
I lost a point for this, Kano. What fun is losing points? I'm kidding. All right.
Well, okay. Well, if you don't want me to consider that question, I can just mark it off the roster.
No.
I understand it felt unfair.
No. We're here now. It was Klee. I lost a point.
Okay. All right. Okay. Quote number 2. I've already told you everything I think is worth sharing. What else could you possibly want to hear from me? Your curiosity is remarkable. All right, let's hear your questions. For someone who is used to interrogating others, the feeling of being questioned is interesting.
Interrogating others. Oh, is this...
It's funny because when I read this a lot, I feel like I've possibly pulled this out at one point or another.
No, I don't think you have.
Maybe if it's heard it.
It's very similar, I think, to the other line. Is it Yelan?
Do you want a hint?
So it's not Yelan. Okay.
Do you want a hint?
All right. Sure.
Okay.
I swear to God, if you say Hydrovision, I'm gonna cry.
This person is from Sumeru.
Okay. I have no fucking idea. Who interrogates people in... you have Nilu, you have Dea, you have Alhaitham, you have Kaveh, you have Nahida. The Kaveh? No. What does Kaveh do for a job?
He's an architect.
He's not interrogating anybody. Who interrogates people? It's probably a new character. That cat girl's from Inazuma.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't remember the name. There's a
Kirara.
Yeah, Kirara.
Dan's favorite character.
Oh yeah, because it's a furry. I'm gonna look up Sumeru characters. I'm a big fat cheater. Sumeru characters. May look. Category characters. Oh, ooh. I forgot about this little guy. I'm gonna go with Sino.
All right.
That's my official answer.
Well, you would be very much correct.
Let's go.
Sino.
I forgot about him.
He's the General Mahamatra.
I know. He would be the one to interrogate people.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I looked up Sumeru characters.
Yes.
Half of them aren't on here. I don't know if this hasn't been updated or what.
It might not have
been. Fun fact. Look up Sumeru characters. I think they only put the 5 stars at the top because Candace is way the fuck at the bottom.
Candace is over there with Kale and Layla.
Candace, Kale.
And Dory.
Yeah. So they probably only put 5 stars up at the top. That makes sense. Candace was probably going to be my second guess. But anyways, third question.
Yeah, third quote. All right.
Third quote, sorry.
My hobby? I would say my job. What? Why don't jobs count as hobbies? I thought hobbies are supposed to be things you look forward to doing and that make you feel good when you've done them. That describes my job perfectly. So what's the issue?
You got a workaholic.
Yes. Also, this sounds like someone that I know in real life personally.
Aaron?
At least sometimes, maybe.
Yeah, he needs a hobby.
This is our cry for.
And you know what? His answer would be, I don't have time for one. I work 12 hours a day.
I don't have time for hobbies.
Yeah. My hobby, I would say my job. What? Jobs don't count as a hobby. I thought hobbies were supposed to be the things you look forward to doing. You feel good when you're done. You describe my job perfectly. That's the issue.
Wow, that was.
It's great, huh?
That was so intelligible. I understood exactly what you said there. It's like,
you don't speak mumble? Unfortunate. I have literally 0 clue, so I would like a hint, please.
All right, your hint is that this person is from Leo. The land of workaholics.
Yeah, they're all workaholics. Is it Ganyu? That's my guess.
Okay. Well, I mean, you are correct. So
yes.
It's Dean Ganyu. She just thinks of her hobby as her job.
Yeah, because I remember doing part of her quest, and everyone was like, "You are so fucking tired all the time. Go rest." Yes. And she's like, "But why would I rest? I love my job." Like, bitch,
exactly.
You are being worked to the bone because you are not
giving
yourself a break. Yeah, take a hint. Get a life. But anyway.
Quote yes, you are correct. Yay!
2 out of 5.
Nice. I think you're doing good. You're doing good.
Whoa,
see?
Whoa! I'm learning.
We're so proud of you.
Thanks.
Yay! All right. Next quote. While it is a doctor's duty to save others, the doctor is also themselves a person who deserves to be saved. If we wish to preserve lives, we should strive for an outcome where everyone will live to see another day. Those who willingly give themselves up for others are worthy of our respect, but we should not accept their sacrifice as predestined or an inevitable part of life.
Well, there's only one doctor that I know of. So, I'm gonna guess Baiju.
Well, guess what? You're right.
Oh my God,
did it.
Yay!
You got it right.
The other doctor is a fucking piece of shit. He's a dickhead.
I'm the Tor.
La Dottore.
I haven't even seen him in the story yet. I'm excited to meet him one day.
You meet him fairly quick.
In Sumeru?
Sumeru, yes.
Yes. the land of where I'm not yet.
Yep. I think he's in the first act, so I think you meet him pretty quickly. Anyway.
Splendid. Something I can look forward to.
Yeah.
All right, then we have our final quote to provide. Are you
Yay.
excited and ready for this magical happenstance?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Wonderful. Then we shall commence with the last quote. Thanks for your trust and support, my dear partner. I couldn't have made it this far without your help. I suppose we have time for a quick high five, but then let's get back out there and solve some more mysteries.
Mysteries? We have a detective on our case?
Not only that, detective likes giving high fives.
Yeah. Who doesn't seem too adamant or apt for high fives. So we have a detective that doesn't like to be touched.
No touching the merchandise.
Not touching the detective. Dee, what are you doing in my laboratory? Shoot. Solve some more mysteries. I want to say Kazuo, maybe? But I don't know. He's not the detective type.
Not particularly.
I have vision.
Yes, it's Animo.
Ooh. Okay. Maybe I'm right. Oh, wait, no, because there's... Ooh. There's also Farzan, and I don't know much about her. She might be... Also, I just looked up Animo characters, and apparently Farzan is an S tier, and Kazuha is an SS tier, and then everybody else is beneath them. The tier list is Kazuha by himself. Just Kazuha's SS. And then in S tier, you have Jean, Venti, Sucrose, and Farzan.
Wow.
And then you have A tier, which is Zhao and Wanderer. B tier, Sayu, and Haizao?
Yeah, Heizu.
And then you skip C and go straight to D, and it's Traveler.
That's kind of funny. Poor Traveler on the low end. For no good reason.
Traveler. I'm gonna say Farzan, just because I don't know too much about her, and I don't know if this fits Kazuha really.
Right.
Kazuha's like I gotta keep my nose out of shit because I don't want to get caught.
Right. Well, you would be unfortunately incorrect. It's Heizu.
Oh shit! He's like Yelan. He is the Inazuma version of Yelan.
He's the Inazuma version of Yelan.
Yep, he's fuck me. Well, I still got 3 out of 5, so I still win.
You did.
Yay!
You did very fair. You did a formidable job, and there's one that you got immediately, which is epic.
Because there's only one doctor character.
A win's a win.
Who else was I supposed to guess?
Clee?
You know, she's a jack.
While it is a doctor's duty to save others, the doctor is also themselves the person who deserves to be saved.
The doctor themselves is a person that deserves to be saved.
Oh, God.
Exactly. See? It could work.
Yeah.
Do you question?
Klee is a doctor? With her bombs? Yeah. Yeah, I think I do. I think I do question it a bit. Very questionable behavior. They do open heart surgery.
A new hobby.
One of my bombs is missing. Did we do a count for them? You're like a distant. Oh my god! I think over the course of this, we're both finding that like Clea's our favorite character. No,
she's just very fun. She's just like
so
boom. Like
the
like it's sad. Like I would
are...
I would never pull for her because as a character she plays very trickily, but as
she's
a
like really
character
good,
in the
though,
game, I love whenever she's in like the Mondstadt events and like everything else. She's just amazing. She's just so funny.
She's just a little shit disturber. Oh.
She is a delight.
Yeah. I like that moment in like the Winesland Fest thing.
Yeah, Wine-Lazel Fest.
Wine-Lazel Fest, yeah, where she's like, the wind started blowing and she's like, it's Barbados! And she starts running off and then like Venti looks over and like winks and he's like, shh. I thought that was just a cute moment.
Yes.
Gotta keep the spark alive for the Spark Night Clee of Knights of Favonius.
Exactly.
Yay, that was the game.
You did it.
Woo, woo, woo.
Delightful.
If you played along, let us know how you did below in the comments, as well as any answers to the questions that we answered today. Your thoughts on the Should I Be Scolded and anything that we talked about in tea time as well. Are you happy that Smosh is back? Are you dishappy that Twitch doesn't know what the fuck they're doing? Are you happy or sad that Billionaires died in a Titanic mission?
Precisely.
Let us
know.
Are
you glad that we played another Genshin video game? Or are you silently seething and wishing we played a different game?
I'm sure I'll get a message about it.
Next week.
Yeah.
You played Genshin again.
It's like, yes.
Yeah. I might try and get this out sooner than Wednesday, but we'll have to see. Don't hold me to that. Because it's been a hot minute. It's been like a month since we've uploaded because we're recording this week, but it's not coming out till next week. Caramel, stop hitting my mic. I love you. Stop. Please. Yeah, he's making like a whole bunch of noises. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of the podcast. You can find Kano and I over on Twitch at Kanoka621 or Stinky Mads. You can come and watch us. We stream. Kano streams more than I do recently, so go and check them out. Go and check them out. Do you have any final words, Kano?
I'm glad to be home, and yes, it's nice to be here, and all of y'all are amazing, and thank you for tuning into our podcast because we are indeed at episode 16 at this point, and making good progress every day, and so I just want to say that that's pretty great.
Yeah. All right. We love you very much. Be good people, do good things, and we'll see you in the next episode of the podcast.
Yeah!
Bye!
Bye!